voting system is now finally possible in Piggy build mode. And what better way to prove it than showing you right now? We get to vote between 3 different color options. All we have to do is just use the chat. By typing in /red, blue, or yellow, we can actually select our colors directly from chat. So let's go ahead and begin the vote. Once we pull this lever, voting has begun. I'm gonna go ahead and vote for the color red. And as you can see, the number went up. And once the voting period ends, you can no longer vote. And the winner is... red is the winner. Uh-oh. We got a tie here. How it's gonna work is it's just simply gonna choose randomly between one of those 2 winners. And of course, if all 3 of these ended up tying, the same thing would happen. And best of all, if people try voting before voting starts, you'll notice nothing happened. And I vote for a certain color like red, and I try and vote red a second time, it doesn't count double votes. No more will you have to sit there and have people voting at the beginning of a map by standing on top of these buttons. The first step is creating your votes. Maybe this can be 3 different maps that you want selected. Have as many of these as you want. The name you choose in here is what players will be typing in chat to vote for whatever they want to vote for. Now make sure all of your voting options are 0.1 in time active. And it's best that you have some display in here that actually shows players, like these notes for example, on what to type in chat in order to vote. Next, we're going to place down any power source that we're going to use to start up the voting process. Connect this lever to a timer. If you want people to have 15 seconds to vote, set the timer to 15. Let's announce to our players whenever the vote starts. So let's place down an info block here and connect our power source to this info block. We're going to set the inside text to something like voting has started. And now we should also announce when voting has ended as well. Let's place down an info block, connect our timer to the info block, and then inside the info block itself, voting has ended. The winner is... We want to make sure people are not able to vote twice in a row. First, we're going to place an if gate behind each of our chat command blocks, connect each of these blocks to its if gate, and inside the if gate, we're going to go to this top option here and change it to and not. Has item the stackable coin. But you can basically use any item. And now we're going to place down an item giver block. Go into the settings, we're going to set it to be the same exact stackable coin and change it to give to player. If a player votes for any option, they will get a stackable coin. But if the player tries to vote while they have a stackable coin, it will not let them vote. Now let's make it so that players can't vote before voting starts. Place down an AND gate behind each if gate, link up the if gate to each of these AND gates. Then we're going to place down a modifier gate. All you need is 1, so you can place it anywhere. I like to put it in the very center here. Change the modifier gate settings to last activated by. Connect the modifier gate to all of your new AND gates. Place an XOR gate on top. Connect the XOR down to the modifier gate. Now remember your countdown timer before? You're going to link that to this new XOR gate, and you're going to link up whatever your power source is to this XOR gate. Finally, you're going to take all of your AND gates and connect them into your brand new item giver block. Now let's move on to using these brand new links. Next to each AND gate, you're going to place down an operation gate. Connect each AND gate to its operation gate, and inside the settings of each operation gate, you're going to change the value to 1 and keep it as add. Next, we're going to place a regular counter gate next to each of our operation gates. Keep it at 0. Connect each operation gate to its counter gate. Place an operational if gate next to each of our counters. Connect each counter to its operational if gate, and in the settings of each operational if gate, you're going to set it to equal to and set it to 50. Now this will be able to detect when a certain option reaches 50 votes. But how do we get it there? But the Phoenix Pal had an idea where you can use a looper to bring all those numbers up to 50 no matter how many votes there are. First, let's make a perfect looper. Place down a looper, place down an AND gate, and then you're going to place down a timer on top of the looper, and then finally you're going to place down a NOT gate on top of the AND gate. And finally place a link hub on top. And for the timer on our perfect looper, we're going to set it to this number here. Now we're going to place down an XOR, we're going to place down a NOT gate back here, and then we're also going to place down a link hub on the very top. Connect the XOR gate to the AND gate, then you're going to connect the NOT gate to the AND gate, and then you're going to connect the link hub to the XOR gate, the top link hub, and the NOT gate in the very back. And you're going to connect the round timer directly over to the XOR gate. Now take all your operational if gates here and you're going to link them directly over to the link hub that's above the XOR gate. Your AND gate to the looper, and then your looper is going to connect to the timer and the link hub up here. Connect your timer into the looper, connect your link hub into the NOT gate, and then the NOT gate into the AND gate. And you're going to connect the timer to all of these operation gates that you've set up here in the front. Place an AND gate next to each of your operational if gates. Connect each operational if gate to its own AND gate. On top of each of our AND gates, we're going to place down a timer. Connect the AND gate going up into the timer. Set the timer to 0.2 seconds. Now let's place teleport blocks for each of our options. Set each teleport block to teleport triggers for everybody. So we have our red voting option here, so we're going to connect our timer to this teleport block. Our blue one is going to go over to the blue teleport block, and yellow is going to go over to yellow. To make it look nicer, we can also place some digital displays here. We're going to set each display to show counter, and we're going to connect each of our counters here to the digital displays that match. Let's place down one NOT gate, and we're gonna have it linked up to all of our ending AND gates. Now let's add in a drum roll and da-da sound effect to whenever the votes get chosen. First, place down an XOR gate, and then place an audio player right on top. In the audio player settings, make sure loop is enabled, and in the sound ID, you're gonna go ahead and insert this, and also increase the volume to 2. Connect the XOR gate into the audio player, and connect the voting timer to the XOR gate. Now place down a link hub, connect the link hub into the XOR gate, and place down another audio player with the link hub powering up into it. In that audio player settings, you're going to disable loop, give it this sound ID, and also raise it to volume 2. Place an audio emitter on top and set it to this setting, and make sure both of your audio players are linked up to the same emitter. Next, you're going to place down an AND gate above each of our operational if gates, kind of make them decently high up if you want to. Now we're going to connect all of our timers into this link hub here, and we're also going to connect our new AND gates up here. We're going to connect all of them into this link hub. But what if nobody votes at all? What's going to happen? First, let's place down another operational if gate, but on top of our counters. Connect the counter going up into each of our operational if gates. Keep all these operational if gates to their default settings. Next, we're going to place down a random selector with an AND gate on top of it. Have the AND gate powering down into the random selector. We're going to have the random selector selecting all of our vote option timers, and then let's have all 3 of our new operational if gates connecting into our AND gate here. And finally, you're gonna link the voting timer directly over to this tiebreaker AND gate. Well, that problem's taken care of, but what happens if there's a tie? How are we gonna tie break? First, we're gonna place down a looper, and we're gonna set the repetitions to 2 and the interval to 0.1. Now, take all of your operational if gates at the end here, and we're gonna take all of them and link them directly up to this looper. Then we're gonna place an operation gate, connect the looper to the operation gate, set the operation gate to 1 and add, place down a counter, leave it at default settings, place down an operational if gate, and we're gonna set it to greater than or equal to 2. Connect the operation gate to the counter and the counter to the operation if gate. Now let's also connect our operation if gate to this NOT gate here. Now let's build our tie selector by first placing down an AND gate, then a NOT gate on top, and then a looper right next to it. Connect the if gate into the AND gate, connect the NOT gate going down into the AND gate, and connect the AND gate going into the looper, and connect the looper back into the NOT gate. Now you're gonna place down a random selector, and you're gonna put your looper directly into it. Keep the looper settings default, and keep the randomizer settings default. Place a link hub on top of each of these higher AND gates here, with each link hub going directly down into its corresponding AND gate, and connect your new randomizer into all of your link hubs. Now we're gonna place an XOR gate next to our looper. We're gonna place a link hub on this side and a link hub on this side. Connect each link hub going into each different part of your XOR, and connect the XOR gate going directly into your looper. Now take all of your link hubs that are up on top of here, and you're gonna connect them down into this link hub. And now take each of your AND gates and do the same exact thing, but now you're gonna put it into this link hub. So again, make sure you get all 3 of these into here. And now for all of our AND gates, we're gonna connect it into its corresponding voting outcome here, similar to what we did with the timers that are directly below as well. And let's connect our voting timer to all of these AND gates that are in the back right here as well. Now make sure for all your operational AND gates at the end here, you're gonna connect it all the way going up into the AND gate, Same with this one over here, you're gonna connect it up into the upper AND gate, and so on. One more step. Let's make this voting system resettable. Simply take your power source, connect it to a NOT gate, have the NOT gate connected to an operational gate, and set it to, well, set and 0 as a value. Then connect your operation gate to all of your counters in every single row, just the regular counters. And then you're also going to connect it to the counter right here in your tiebreaker. So after our votes are all done, I can simply depower my power source and the votes will reset back to 0. Just keep in mind though that the players need to get rid of the item that they were given from this voting system if they want to vote again. You can remove items from players either by having them insert it inside of an item use trigger, or you can make them activate a cure block with this setting disabled so it removes their items. As you can see, I got a huge cluster of players right here and they're ready to vote. Voting has started. Go ahead and vote. And you can see people are voting up right now to choose what they want to choose. Now the voting has ended. It's totaling up all the votes. And once it reaches 50, it reaches to... there we are. But what happens if we get a tie between two different options? Okay, so each of us just voted right now, and it's actually only going to choose between both of those options randomly. It's not even going to count red at all. It's easy to build, and it'll handle all the player votes automatically. But yeah, what are you guys gonna use this for in your maps? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you want to see more build mode guides like this on all the new update content, make sure you subscribe.